Hey guys, Dan here with another book review. This time we're reviewing Irvine Welsh's Skag Boys. If you're not familiar with who Irvine Welsh is, he is the Scottish writer of Trainspotting, which is his most famous book. And this book is a part of a series from... Well, Trainspotting is book 2 in the Mark Renton series. Of course, I've read Trainspotting. I've read a number of Irvine Welsh's books. I've done a few reviews of them. Trainspotting is his most famous, I would say, most well-known. And I do have to start out by saying that his books are written in Scottish or Scots, as I Googled it to find out exactly what the language is. What that is it's sometimes it'll be written in regular English. You'll be reading a paragraph and then you'll read some dialogue, and the dialogue will be in the way people in Scotland talk. Like, for instance, they'll say canna instead of cannot, or, did nay instead of did not, and, nay instead of not, and you get the hang of it. And then plus there's like slang. Someone tried to say it's British slang, but that's not 100% because a lot of the slang is just limited to Scotland, because I watch a lot of British TV shows and I understand a lot of British slang, but then there were some slang words that were just limited to Scotland that I've never heard of, that I had to look up because they were, like I said, they're just from Scotland. But anyways, this is a prequel to Trainspotting. I absolutely love Trainspotting. I originally saw the film version and then I went and read the book. Trainspotting, of course, is about people who are addicted to heroin. Basically, they're junkies and like what life is like for them. It's pretty much the same story with Skag Boys, but in Skag Boys, it kind of gives you the beginnings of all the characters. So all the characters from Trainspotting are brought back for the prequel, because it is a prequel. It kind of gives you an idea of how they got into the situations they are in currently in Trainspotting. So we see how, like, Mark Renton, who was originally a uni student, kind of slowly descends into heroin addiction. We meet his friends like Begbie. There's a brief, like, not too much about Begbie. We kind of see, there's a little bit about Begbie. A little bit about Tommy, who Tommy, if you remember from Trainspotting. I'm not gonna spoil this for anybody who's not read Trainspotting. I'm just gonna go over like certain key characters for those who may know them from Trainspotting and be like, okay, these characters are featured in this book too. There were a few characters who I don't remember because they were really minor characters. At times, it does jump around from character to character at times. It's not like pure linear, just Mark Renton's story. It will unexpectedly change one to the next chapter and be talking about one of his friends or peers and how they're going through things. One of the things I really did appreciate about this is that Irvine Welsh kind of gives you like key historical moments or things that he feels are important to understanding why there was a heroin epidemic in Scotland, like, about unemployment rates and how there was pharmaceutical companies that were where they were getting the main supplies of this heroin, and just like, AIDS and all that other stuff. So I found that very interesting. Like I said before, I'm a big fan of Trainspotting. I really enjoyed it. I will have to say I don't recommend this for everyone. I know there's a lot of people who find the language kind of hard to understand. And I will admit, the first time I read an Irvine Welsh book, it was kind of hard to get into because I wasn't used to reading Scottish English. Some people recommend listening to an audiobook might be easier for those not familiar with it. But I would recommend, if you're really super interested in reading something by Welsh, that maybe you should start out slow. Take your time. Look up words you don't understand. And I know that Trainspotting had like a glossary in the back that kind of gave you the rundown on certain words. Kind of helped you understand like the grammar of the Scottish that you were reading. So I did, but then again, this is assuming you've already read Trainspotting. Now, this is book 1 in that series. Now, would you say you have to read this before reading Trainspotting? I would say no. A lot of people are saying that it's probably better to read Trainspotting, which did come first. This did not come out until 2012, which was a number of years after Trainspotting. But a lot of people are saying you should read Trainspotting first, so that way you get a feel for the characters. It is his best work, and then you'll kind of know who is being talked about in this one. Like I said, I did enjoy this, but I just did not find this as enjoyable as Trainspotting or any of the other works I've read by Welsh. I thought this was just okay. I know a lot of my friends on Goodreads really liked this. They really thought it was a 4 or 5-star book, which I kind of have to say no. It was just an okay read. I only rated this 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was just okay. It kind of felt like it was lacking at times. Like, it just kind of seemed really boring. There were some really slow parts in the transition between the different chapters. And I think that's why, I think that was another reason why it took me so long to read it. I was reading a lot of other books at the same time like I usually do, but this one took me even longer to read because of those slow transitions that just really, they were just kind of ho-hum and not that upbeat as they are in Trainspotting. In Trainspotting, there always seemed to be something going on, and they were either funny or there was some kind of like entertaining story, whereas this one would just kind of be like, well, this is, you know, some glimpse into this character's past, and this is why they're falling in a downward spiral that they are, which makes sense for, you know, you're telling a story about people becoming addicted to heroin, and yeah, it's not all sunshine and roses, I get that, but it was just kind of too boring for me. I just found it to be really, really ho-hum, and that's why I rated this 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Don't get me wrong, this is one of my favorite authors. I plan on trying to read good majority of what this author has written. This just wasn't one of the better works by him. I do have book 3, which is Porno, which I'm going to read sometime in the near future, but just not right now. I've kind of had my fill of Scottish English for now. I just don't feel like, it's not something I could read continuously. Like, I wouldn't be able to read the series and just keep reading it, because like, you kind of have to be in the mood for it and all that, and yeah, it is what it is. I do recommend checking this out. I will have a link, as always, down below for you to purchase a copy for yourselves. If you like the video, like it, share it with your friends. If you're not a subscriber and you're looking for more book reviews, I do more comics and graphic novel book reviews than regular books. But I do read other fiction and nonfiction at times and do review them. So please hit that subscriber link down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, later.